So what we'll do is we'll paint the whole canvas gray, because we're doing it in black and white, right? It's a sort of black and white painting. So I think the best thing for us to do is paint it in black and white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab on a few black. Alright. This is something a little different for you to do. And we will put on some white. This is fun. Something different. So there we go. Just make sure you get lots on there. Might need to put more on after, but I'm going to dab on big blobs of white and black. And then we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to change brushes. I'm going to use a bigger brush. I'm going to use my 1 inch. And I'm going to wet my brush just so that it's damp. And then I'm going to start blending this together. Good. So you want to start off just gray, okay? So you can use any brush you want, whatever you're comfortable with. You need more white, just put it on. Look how nice that is. See? There we go. Look at that. See how the two colors almost don't completely blend? That's why I did it this way, so it just won't completely blend, but it'll go into each other, but it won't completely blend. Like I said, if you need more white, just put on more white on your brush and bring it back and forth. Long strokes. I didn't use magic white today because I want it to dry fairly fast, but if you want it to blend, and we don't want it to totally blend into one gray. We want to have those. See how nice we got little darks and lights going on there? Alright, so I'll do that. I got more white down there, which is nice. That's what I want to show you today. So I'll go down into the black. I want to catch it before it dries on you too, right? So add more paint, and that will also, you can mist it. So if you feel like it's starting to get a bit dry, start to mist. All right. That makes it. See how that's moving even better again now. See, with misting, it will extend the drying time. It will make your make your paint move, I should say. It'll make your paint move, but it won't really extend the drying time too long. So the difference is with the blending gel or the magic white or a retarder, it's called. It extends the drying time to up to an hour in some cases, depending on how you mix it. Alright, so got that much done. Nice. So I'm going to add a few touch-ups to that. I'm going to dip my brush into some black. While this is still a bit wet, I'm going to darken up the top part here, okay? Alright. Want that a little dark up here. So when I put the moon on there, we won't have to work around the moon. Your background will be done. So you don't have to work around the moon. It's really difficult to work around the moon. So I want to get some more of that dark in. I'm going to clean up my brush. Take all the paint, not all the paint, but I'm going to take some of the paint off, or most of it. I just cleaned it off, my water and my, because I don't want to, there we go. Now you got to be careful, because if that starts to dry on you, then the canvas is going to come through. So we leave it like that. That's nice, right? That's nice. I'm going to switch to I'm going to switch to another brush. I'm going to switch to a synthetic brush. So a little under halfway, I'm going to add some gray. So I'm going to add a bit of white and a bit of black. And make it gray. Don't mind those other colors. That was just left over from another video I was doing, and I didn't want to throw them out. Sorry. So I'm getting a bit of a gray here. And I'm going to say, now you can use tape if you want a straight horizon line, but I'm just going to take my brush, synthetic, and it's got a chiseled edge on it, so should be able to get a half decent line here if I can control my hand. Alright, there we go. That's good. See? Then it's going to smooth it out. So we'll say that that's the top part of the canvas. And that's the beauty of it. You can use the chisel edge to straighten up your line. I go a little bit darker. I want to be able to see a difference there. I'm just going to go like this. There we go. That's a better line, isn't it? Just put your brush this way instead of up this way. Well, you can do it that way. It's just that I'm trying to thicken up that line a little bit. I'm going to blend that down into the water. It's going to be a water down there. All right. Good. Now we'll get this nice and straight. It is a horizon line. I'm going to put black on the corner of my brush so I can get that line up there. Just on the corner, that way it doesn't go all over the place. It just goes on the top. Alright. That's a bit better, isn't it? That's a little trick for you. Whenever you just want to do part of your painting, you want to do like this, a horizon line, and you don't want to get it down too far, then just use the corner of your brush, and then the rest of your brush has the lighter color on it, and then you got the darker color, and then you're clear. And then you can clean off your brush, get that black off of there so that you can continue blending here. Let's blend down into the water. All this has to be wet. So if it starts to dry on you, don't forget to mist it. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is some of the canvas is going to come through. As you can see, some of mine is starting to come through there now. So I'm not pushing very hard. It would have been a good spot. It would have been a good painting to use magic white, but I just didn't want to do it today because I want to get the moon on there. I'd have to wait for almost an hour for it to dry, so I could use my hair dryer and everything, but today is starting to go by really fast, and I want to get this video done for you guys. So let's add some water to the water, some highlights, because it's going to be a moon. The moon is going to be there, so we're going to take some white on a clean brush. We've got pure white. It's probably still a bit wet. If it's dry, it's okay. We're going to add some whites to the water. Give it kind of a glistening look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some black paint. going to put in between that one. So I'm going to change to a smaller flat chiseled edge, synthetic. And I'm going to put some black on my brush. Not a big lot. I want to start off, you know, with, so I don't know what how it's going to look, so I don't want it to be too black. I want the water to have a little bit of black background. So go underneath what you just did. Don't get rid of those whites, alright? No need to have too much paint on your brush at this point. I'm just going to because we want to have some of the black, and then as it's moving around and some of the paint is still wet, that we just put, then we will get the blacks and darks and dark grays and things. So make it a bit easier for you just to put those in there like that. Pick up some more if you need it. I'm not picking up very much. Black and white is almost harder than do color, isn't it? Sort of, kinda. That's because you got to have all your values, and you got to make sure everything matches properly, or everything looks right. The colors, sometimes you can cover things up. Black and white. Black. When we get the girl on, we're going to put some shadow down there. Just getting underneath the waves we already did, and that way it'll look like waves. Smooth them out a little bit. We have to put in some more white back in, we can do that. Just trying to establish what we're trying to accomplish, okay? So you have to start somewhere, and it's no good just sitting there and staring at it. Going, how do I do that? Where do I start? Just do it. Just put the paint on, no matter what happens. Whatever happens, you can work with it. If you can't work with it, you can always start over. So, you know, simple paintings like this. Alright, and just make it relaxing. Just sit there and sit or stand and just put it on and move your brush around and see what happens. It's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. I might put some white back in there in a little while, but that's a start. You know, it doesn't have to be done right away. It takes time. So I'm going to put on the moon. Just find something that's round. It could be a bowl, it could be anything, you know, and decide how big you want your moon. And this one is fairly big. It takes up almost the whole canvas, well, the whole top part. And we need a nice round moon, so I'm going to use that. Hopefully it don't slip on me. And I'm going to use chalk. That way if I make a mistake or something happens, I can erase it. Just wipe it out. But I want a nice sharp roundness to my moon. Alright, so there we go. That's nice, isn't it? So we couldn't do that first, because if we did, we would have to work around it with the background, and that would be kind of, it would have been hard. And or you could have used the MAC tack that I showed you in my other video, where you could have put on the MAC tack and then paint right over the MAC tack. So, but anyway, now get your chiseled edge brush. Okay, your synthetic chiseled edge. Okay, see the chisel? And look, it almost disappears. And that's what you want, because you're going to need to get around that line there, okay? So, we'll go with just white. I'm just going to pick up some white, chisel out my brush. So when I go into my white, I'm going to chisel out my brush by pulling through, okay? Pull through to get that chiseled edge. Alright? Now, so just paint that in, right up against that edge. That will guide you. And your chiseled edge will help you get around that moon so that you can have a nice sharp edge to it, we hope. Just have to have a steady hand and some patience, because when you erase that line, you may have to adjust it a little. Now, we are going to not worry about that edge there, but we are going to add some, smooth it out a bit, make it nice and smooth. Now you can be more loose on the inside. And we'll add a little bit of gray, so a tiny bit of black, not much. And we'll just add some grays in here just to give it a, kind of wiggle my brush around a little bit just to, so it won't be straight, so it'll be, might need a little bit more gray. Don't want too gray now. Just shadows in the moon. I mean, the moon got shadows. You can just bring a little bit of light down here, just to kind of swing that up there. Like I said, you don't have to go by exactly by the reference photo. Just do it your way. That's what I'm doing. If I try to go by the reference photo, trying to get every little shadow in exactly the same way and everything, and exactly the same waves, I'll be either here for a week or I will get frustrated and won't want to do it anymore. There we go. It's a nice big moon, isn't that nice? So next we are going to let that dry really good, okay? Like, make sure it's completely dry, because now we have to draw on a little girl sitting on the swing. Now you don't have to have a girl sitting on a swing. You can have a big old tree going in front of that if you wanted. You can have, yeah, you could have a tree with a branch and a cat or an owl or some bird sitting in front of the moon on a branch. You don't have to do the whole tree. You just put a branch going across, right? And put a bird on there. So that's an idea, isn't it? So you can do that. But I'm going to do the swingy. I'm going to do the swing and the girl and the swing because I kind of liked it and I thought it was a good idea. But you know, when you look at these reference photos, you can change them up any way you want. You could put a big sailboat right here in front of there with the brightness coming out on the sail, you know. There's so many things you can do. You can just have a big old bird flying in front of the moon. So wherever your imagination takes you, go right ahead, okay? And then, but I'm going to put the girl on the swing there. So now I took my pattern after everything was dry, and I taped it on, and I traced it out using carbon paper like I usually do, and came out pretty good. You know, it's not bad. Get yourself a small flat or an angular brush, and dampen it, and then you're going to put some black on there. Now, so we'll just fill that in, and that's the way we'll do that. I'm going to use a black marker. So just take a black marker and either that one or something a little thicker. It depends on how thick you want the lines, eh? I might just use this one. And then I'm just going to use my ruler. Wait for that paint to be dry first, because you'll end up touching off it and then do anything you want with this. If you want to clean up some edges, use your marker. It's okay. It's mixed media, so don't worry about adding markers or using a different media. To, you know, you could do watercolor and acrylic over it if you wanted to. You do whatever you want, as long as it all goes together. You know, you can't put acrylic over oils, okay? It won't work. But you know, you could do anything you want with this. You know, you can make a collage, whatever you want to do with it. Pretty nice. It's going to fix up the water a little bit there now. So we'll fix up the water, but first of all I'm going to put in some shadow from the girl there. So I'm just going to load my chiseled edge brush with black paint. Make sure you get a good chiseled edge there. And we will add some of these little lines. So she's going down around here, so we'll just sort of follow that down there. I'm just going to make sure I know where she's going, and then I'm going to put in some of these. A few other little dark areas here. Not too much. Not too many dark areas, but it's nice to have some dark against the light too, for the contrast, right? Like we talked about before. It's going to lighten that up a bit there now. Get a dark gray so I don't have too much dark. There we go. Spread it out a little bit. So as you can see, I put the black on first, and I moved around it so I could spread it out a bit. Catch it while it's still wet. There we go. See, you're getting those lights and darks and shadows. Getting light against dark. I'm adding more white just to brighten it up a bit so that it's not too much there going on. So you might have to go back and forth to get the colors that you're looking for. Well, not colors. Forgive me. The blacks and the whites. The values is what word I'm trying to find. The values. Alright, so you might have to fiddle with that a little bit. Just a little bit. You can add some clouds to this if you like. You don't have to do this, but I thought it'd be fun to put some clouds in here. I'm just going to use a bristle brush for this one. That way I can scrub them on. Okay, so it's my bristle. Remember I told you about bristles? Much better to work with. All right, so we'll put a gray color on here, black and white. Make a gray color. Make it nice and wet, okay? Lots of paint because that will make it be able to move it better. So see how nice gray that is? We can always highlight it. So let's put some clouds down around here. Just make some circles. Let's make some circles. I don't want to go up into the moon yet because I want to see what these are going to turn out like first. Okay, so I got those clouds going down into the water a little bit, up into the sky, and it's going to go into this, but I want to lighten it up before I do that. Alright, so we'll go up here, and now we're going to add a bit of white to that. Wipe it off in your tissue so it's not too much. Alright, and we'll just make circles. And we'll come down here. Keep some of that dark on the bottom. A little more white. Brighten it up more. Wipe it off in your tissue. As we get lighter, we'll come into the moon a little bit. We will move it around, but we want to keep some of the dark on the bottom there, okay? See that? See how I kept some of that? Now guys, if you do this, you could ruin your painting. That's why I left it till last, so it's too late. So, you know, you don't have to have these clouds, but we're in learning stages, so even me sometimes. I mean, like, this is new to me. I've never done a black and white painting before. I know it's hard to believe, but I never. So this is new for me too. So I'm just going around circles. I'm going to get a bit more white. Because the moon is so white, it'll make it look really dark. Okay, it's coming out pretty nice though. don't want it on her legs because her legs are in front of that moon. So you get it on her legs, just put some black back there, okay? Just be careful. Still want to keep that dark down there. That's the shadow part, so we don't want to lose that shadow there. Put that back in. Clean it up around here. Okay. Probably get a small brush around her legs there. Just a little bit down in the water, not too much. It's kind of nice, isn't it? A little bit more white. Wipe it off in your tissue. I feel a little lighter ones up around here, not too much. I want to keep that nice and dark up there too, so I'm just kind of floating them around a little bit. Okay, not much. A little bit over here. Just whatever's left over my brush now. I don't want to get too much. Okay. Just kind of floating them around. Maybe add a little bit more white. Wipe it off my tissue. I feel little clouds here, not much. Kind of light shining off there. A bit lighter up here. Soften up here a little bit. So you don't want too much. I mean, that's plenty, really. I'll leave them dark and probably a few little highlights sneaking in between where the moon is kind of shining, a little bit of a light coming out through here. Some of them. You know. Just a little bit of light coming off of there. We're okay. I think we're okay. I don't want to do any more than that. Alright. So that looks nice. You can do it or you don't have to. I was going to leave it out and then I decided, you know, it's in the reference photo. It looks kind of nice. I like to just put a little bit of that gray color on here and clean that up a little bit. I'm not going to do much with it. I'm just going to kind of... So I just want to show you that you can, you know, do some finishing touches with your painting. You don't have to say it's completely done. But it looks like that needs to be softened up a bit. Right? A little darker. A little darker. Too dark. See what I mean? You know, you have to adjust and go back. As long as you don't make too much of a drastic. But if you like it, leave it alone. But, because if you make any mistakes now, this is where you can really mess up your painting, right? You don't want to do that now. I think I better leave mine alone now too, because it looks like I could. I just wanted to soften it up though. It's kind of rough looking, isn't it? Alright. I got my little Sparky there sniffling away. I think he knows I'm doing a video. He's saying, oh, she's doing a video, I'm going to make some noise. So I'm just cleaning up some of this here. Makes it softer looking, see? Especially on the edges and stuff. Let's get that brightened up a little bit here. Let's brighten that up there. So I find when I do things I can't stop, so I might have to speed it up a little bit for you, because I'm kind of, I don't want you not to see what I'm doing, but I don't want to bore you either. You know, I don't want you to be just sitting here watching. some little bits of white on the moon too. You have to, even though it's black and white, you know, you still have to do a lot of work with it. You don't realize it, do you? Look, look how much nicer it looks when you add these little bits of white. Isn't that nice? I think that's it. It looks much better there now. Wow, that's really pretty. Say hi to all the nice people. In case you start barking behind my videos, they'll know who's barking. Say hi, Sparky. I know. Say hi.